So, what did we do last time? We found the loft, which told the story of Marianne. We are still in the loft. We solved the first couple puzzles. What did we find in the end? It wasn't the letters. What did we find in the end? The game will remind me, right? We still have some puzzles left though, right? Oh, yeah.
Now that we're done with the important stuff, maybe we can take a crack at these?
We found out that our mom had a child before us, but the child died and is buried under a tree.
I wish she just explained all this to us. A baby blanket?
Yeah, that is. And she did call him Molly. And that. Okay. We have some more puzzles to go through. But basically the gist of her story was she grew up kind of rich. But like it was a golden cage type of deal, very strict parents. And well, she got pregnant. I'm not sure. Did she already know she was pregnant when she ran away? We don't really know. Either way, she made her way working as like a clockmaker and hanging out with some other people in like some forest area, and then she landed here and made friends, and then she had the child and the child died. That's basically how far we've come. Oh yeah, and it was symbolized as the tiara. The child, that is. Yeah, she took her tiara and ran away to the forest. Alright. The very old beavers repair list. Actually, yeah. Speaking of I'm also noticing, this is why it feels wrong. I don't play this with keyboard and mouse, I play this with controller. So let's maybe switch. Alright, we could start with a story, and this is not the one. We needed that to solve a puzzle. Which was the last one we read? I feel like we've read this. Have we read this? I think so. Yeah, we've read this. We only have 4 left. So let's read 2 now, and then we can read the other ones later. The goblins meet the ice troll. Once upon a time, in an ancient and deep forest, the crafty goblins were awake, long after they should have been asleep. One goblin said to the other, "Let's go explore the forest." Now the goblins were not in the habit of exploring the forest late at night, and they did not know what they would find, but this did not scare them off. They crept out of their beds, bundled up, and went exploring. It was dark. The light of the moon was just enough to keep them from walking into trees, but they could not see more than 15 feet in front of them. Every time a twig snapped or branches rattled, they considered turning back, but they didn't. And so, they had ventured far beyond the house into a part of the forest they were not familiar with, when they realized the snapping of twigs and the rattling of branches had become steady. Something was following them. They turned to run, but a hulking figure emerged from the darkness, sweeping them up with a giant hand and stuffing them into a burlap sack. The goblins wiggled and cried out, but the sack remained shut as their captor stomped through the forest, singing, "Waddle-diddle-dum, waddle-diddle-dee, in this bag a meal for me." After a lot of thumping and thudding, the bag opened and the goblins were dumped into a giant iron pot full of warming water. A huge troll stood overhead, grinning down at them through long, bushy, white eyebrows. "I am the ice troll, and you are my dinner." He readied the He ready to cook the goblin, singing "Waddle deedle dum 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 diddy, there's soon to be a soup for me." Finishing his ditty, he bent over to stoke the fire beneath the pot and let out a loud noise of pain, rubbing a spot on his back that always ached. Relatable. So the troll is over 30, is what we just learned. The troll stood painfully and walked over to a stone shelf where he began to chop potatoes. One of the goblins had an idea. She whispered to her brother, "Follow my lead." The goblin stretched out in the water, floating and letting out sighs of contentment. "Ah," said one of the goblins, "this is the most relaxed I've ever been. My body feels so good, I think I could run 100 miles without stopping," said the second. The troll peered at them. They weren't supposed to be happy about being in the cookpot, but they certainly looked like they were. "Troll," said the goblins, "if your back is hurting, you should try sitting in the water just for a little bit before it gets too cold." The troll stomped over. "But if I take you out, then you will escape and there would be no soup for me." "Put us back in the sack," suggested the goblins, "then we can't run away." This made sense to the troll. The spot on his back that always ached was still bothering him, and the goblins couldn't go anywhere if they were trapped. So he stuffed the goblins back in the sack and climbed into the soup pot. He stretched out and let out a sigh of contentment. Meanwhile, the goblins threw themselves around in the sack until it began to swing. The troll was so relaxed he didn't even notice. The bag dropped onto the shelf where the troll had been chopping potatoes, and the goblins pushed it up against the edge of the troll's knife, sawing a hole. Then they made a break for it. The troll finally noticed what they were doing and roared out in anger. But he was so relaxed that when he tried to chase them, he tumbled out of the cookpot and into the flames, catching his bushy eyebrows on fire. The goblins ran and ran and ran as fast as they could through the ancient and deep forest until they were back in their cave and safe in their beds. They vowed never to venture out in the ancient and deep forest late at night again, for they did not think they'd get so lucky as to trick the ice troll twice. And that is the story of how the crafty goblins met the ice troll and why they never did again. Alright, one more. The goblins tricked the muskrat. Once upon a time, in a deep and ancient forest, in a deep and ancient wood, there lived a muskrat. The muskrat was a lazy, cowardly creature who did little but lay around in the sun, cleaning his beautiful coat until it shone. One day, the muskrat found the crafty goblins playing King of the Mountain on his favored rock. He was too cowardly to confront them directly, and so he retreated to a safe distance and then pitched a stone right at a hornet's nest hanging overhead. One of the goblins saw him do it, but before she could say anything, the hornets emerged furious and chased the goblins away, stinging them. With the rock empty, the muskrat claimed his spot. When the goblins returned, they asked the muskrat, "Why did you do that?" "I don't know what you're talking about," he said, turning away to ignore them. The goblins knew that the muskrat cared for nothing but his coat, so they devised to steal it in order to teach him a lesson. As the muskrat lay in the sun, he spied the goblins strutting by. Their skin was covered in flecks of gold. "Goblins," called the muskrat, "what happened to make your skin shine that way? When we were attacked by the hornets, we ran and ran until we found a pool by the glacier. We dove in and then came out this way." "Will you show me this pool?" asked the muskrat. Crafty goblins led the muskrat to the pool. The muskrat looked at the pool skeptically. "It looks like a pool," he said. The goblins chuckled and shrugged. "You don't have to jump in if you don't want to. But what do you lose if you try? And if it works, why, you will be the most beautiful creature in the whole of the forest." With visions of his splendid coat in mind, the muskrat jumped in. When he emerged, he was disappointed to find that nothing had changed. Said one goblin. "Maybe you have to be stung by the hornets first, just like us." The muskrat hesitated, because getting stung would be painful. Seeing his hesitation, the goblin added, If it works, you will be the most beautiful creature in the whole of the forest." The muskrat decided it was worth it. So he returned to the hornet's nest and pitched a stone right at it. The hornets emerged, even more furious this time. They chased the muskrat, stinging him repeatedly until he jumped into the magic pool. The muskrat was disappointed to find once again nothing had changed. I wonder if the magic only works for us, said one of the goblins. Would you like me to jump in with your coat? The muskrat hesitated. If it works, you will be the most beautiful creature in the whole of the forest. With visions of his splendid coat in mind, the muskrat agreed. He slipped it off and handed it to the goblins. Without his coat, the muskrat was pale and covered in scabbing welts. Instead of jumping in the pool, one of the goblins ran away with the coat, laughing. The other pushed Muskrat into the frigid pool, and as water splashed the gold flecks ran, revealing that they had only ever been painted on. The muskrat cried so pitifully and made such a clamor that he awoke the Ice King, who came down to the forest to see what had happened. When the Ice King saw the muskrat, he laughed, only further infuriating the creature. Tell me what happened, said the Ice King. Both the muskrat and the goblins told their sides of the story, and the Ice King considered the case before him. It is true that the muskrat is vain, and he thinks of nothing but himself, concluded the Ice King. But he needs something to keep him warm in the water and the snow. So the Ice King was decided. The muskrat would get his coat back, but it would be patchy and unkempt. After that day, he became known as Mangy Muskrat. And that is how the goblins tricked the muskrat into giving up his coat and how he got his name. Alright, let's do some puzzling. A very old beaver's repair list.
The very old beaver's repair list.
That's the story where the princess's house gets damaged by a storm and the animals help her fix it.
Yeah. What did they do to fix it again? She slapped the post with her tail to write it.
Yep. I've read the story. I don't think they did anything with electricity.
She fixed the roof shingles.
Eh.
She fixed the planks that... All right.
Easy, I still remembered.
That must have been rough on Eddie.
Yeah, he doesn't really like to talk about her.
Dear Marianne, you cover your ears every time I try to have this conversation with you, so I thought I'd have a better chance doing this in a letter. I know you don't like saying goodbye, so I'll keep my melancholic rambling short and sweet. I want to thank you with all my heart for taking care of me for these past few months. I can't even imagine how exhausting it must have been for you to look after a sick old lady when you also have two small children at home. I know you want me to keep fighting this disease and hoping for recovery, but it's always been a great strength of mine to know when it's time to let go, and that time has come. I'd like to ask you for one last favor. Please take care of Eddie after I'm gone. My poor boy puts on a brave front ever since his father died, but I know he's in pain. I would be so much more at peace knowing he still has family. Maybe he could teach the kids how to fish. He loves spending time with them. Thank you for the warmth and the peace you brought to my life. Give the kids a kiss for me, will you? Carol? So much reading! The crafty goblin's good deeds.
Crafty goblins' good deeds.
Of course, the goblins had to help out the creatures of the forest to pay off their debt to the pelican.
Well, what did they do?
You know, I don't really remember.
Did they? Yeah, they did drop the beehive.
Broke open the beehive for the bear.
And I'm pretty sure they did.
Huh. They had to give nuts to the muskrat. They helped fix the beaver dam.
Yeah, I definitely remember that.
They gave the stalwart moose a good scratch on the back.
Mm-hmm.
They removed a thorn from the frog's back.
What? Did they?
They hugged the princess when she was crying. Wait.
I'm also not sure about this.
Actually, I'm not sure.
Man. This one. Okay. So, moose, bear, princess. Oh, is that all?
Actually, I'm not sure. Nailed it. Our lives would have been so different if their friendship hadn't gone to shit.
The Pelican Crossing is a specialty gift boutique located near the O'Shea Glacier, catering to Gatineau Channel tourists as well, or Gatineau, whatever, as well as Delos Crossing locals. We specialize in an assortment of high-quality products from home accessories, handmade souvenirs to personalized apparel and local-made art. The Pelican Crossing will be the first store to act as a relay between the buzzing arts and craft scene and customers. In addition to a wide array of novelty handcrafted products, the consumer will enjoy friendly and knowledgeable customer service from Becky Store, co-owner Tessa Becky, and up-and-coming artist Marianne Ronan. This business plan is prepared to obtain financing in the amount of $20,000 to purchase inventory and to help cover expenses in the first year of operations. In year 1, the Pelican Crossing plans to break even, and in year 2, we plan to generate a moderate profit. Working on the executive summary part of our business plan. What do you think, Tessa? You know what? Let's do one more, or maybe let's even do both stories. I'm a bit paranoid that I'm gonna accidentally finish the game before reading them all at this point. The Moose Teaches the Goblins. Once upon a time in the deep and ancient forest, the crafty goblins were hungry. This wasn't unusual, the goblins were always hungry, but today they were particularly hungry. They opened the wise princess's cupboards and to look for a snack, but all she had was a small pile of nuts and berries and just one strip of dried fish. The goblins grabbed it all and gobbled it up, but they were still hungry. You know, what's up, Cody? There is. I mean, usually it wouldn't be that much, but reading it out loud clearly takes some time. They went out into the woods to look for more to eat. First they dropped by the small pond. The big frog was asleep, and beside the pond was a pile of insects she had caught for eating after she woke up. The goblins crept up to the pile, careful not to wake the big frog. As they got close, she ribbited loudly, and they froze. But the big frog kept sleeping, so they grabbed up the pile of insects and gobbled it up. But they were still hungry. As they crept back into the woods, they found the stalwart moose, watching them. Did you just steal the big frog's food? The goblins tried not to look guilty, but failed. She said we could have them, they cried. Oh, really? Asked the moose. Let's ask her. So Moose woke up Big Frog and asked, Did you say the goblins could have your food? The big frog looked at the goblins, who she knew were always hungry, and nodded. Yes, I did. Really? Asked the moose. Surprised. Frog nodded, and the moose sighed. All right, then, she said. And he had to let the goblins go. What a good friend. Their next stop was the river. They watched as Old Bear swiped at a leaping salmon, catching it deftly in his large paws. He laid it out upon the rock and left it to dry, lumbering into the woods to seek out some berries. The crafty goblins crept up to the rocks, grabbed the salmon, and gobbled it all up. But they were still hungry. As they crept back into the woods, the stalwart moose was once again waiting for them. Are you going to tell me Old Bear said you could have that? Yes, replied the goblins. Old Bear ambled up at the moment, and Moose asked him. Ambled up at the moment, and Moose asked him, Did you leave that fish for the goblins? Old Bear looked at the goblins, who he knew were always hungry, and nodded. I did. He said, Really? Asked the Moose. Really, said the Old Bear. After Moose left, Old Bear said to the goblins, Be sure to tell the princess I was kind to you, and don't steal my fish again. The goblins, still hungry, went out looking for one more meal. And just one more. They crept up to the mangy muskrat lodge and began to climb inside when they were dragged right back out. The stalwart moose dangled them by the seats of their pants and said, "Now, I know Mangy Muskrat didn't tell you that you could eat his food, because he blames you for his coat being ruined. Besides, he barely has enough for himself and doesn't share with anyone." The goblins began to protest, but he shook his head. He set the goblins down and said, "Come with me." The goblins followed the stalwart moose to a part of the river where it ran slow enough for them to walk into it safely. He gave them each a fishing line and said, "I'm going to teach you to fish, so that when you're hungry you do not need to steal from the animals of the forest. It will be hard work, but it will be honest." Crafty goblins were not against working hard. They were just hungry, and so they listened to Moose and soon pulled wiggly fish out of the water. Wiggling, not wiggly. They ate them up, and finally they were no longer hungry. And that is how the moose came to teach the crafty goblins to fish. Alright. This one can wait for a little longer. Too much reading. The old bear's gift for the princess.
The old bear's gifts for the princess. I'm totally blanking on that story. What did he give her again?
Why don't we open up the book and check?
That was a very early story, no? Was it this? Oh yeah. Salmon, berries, bluebell. Salmon, berries, bluebell.
Fresh caught salmon? A newly bloomed bluebell?
Berries?
A handful of ripe berries?
Easy.
Nice. Man, he had it bad. Just couldn't let go.
Sorry for the note under the door like a prison inmate. You okay? I stopped by and rang a couple times this week, but you didn't answer. I could see the light in the hayloft, so I figured you were in, but didn't want to talk. I hope I didn't ruin everything. I know I probably came on kind of strong, but the thing is I don't know how to talk to a woman like you. You're strong and kind, and you know so much it's hard for me to know how to keep up. I guess all that went to my head. But I want you to know I got the message, and I'm gonna get out of your hair now, and there doesn't need to be any bad feelings. We can pass it in the street and say hello or not. It's okay. P.S. I noticed your car was leaking, so I put some sealant in there. You might need to take it to the shop, though. Let me know if you want me to come with you, because sometimes these guys try to rip you off. If not, no big deal. Sam. Oh, wait, we've already done this. That's the last one.
The crafty goblin's loot.
That's from The Princess and the Two Thieves. I drew the original.
And I distinctly remember drawing that cake, which is arguably the best part of that illustration.
All right, Picasso. And you probably remember what the goblins stole in that story.
Well, all of the food.
Maybe they took some of the princess's fruit? Did they steal candy? Some flour for the cake, maybe?
Yeah, I guess this maybe not, but I think
I'm not
clothes.
Sure. Didn't they take some of the princess's clothes? What if they took some spoons? Or not? What if they took some spoons? Some flour for...
Okay, we're checking. Let's see. Fruits and nuts and eggs. Spoons, plates, forks, knives, blankets.
The cake, maybe? Wait. Maybe not.
So we have fruits and spoons. We don't have a blanket there. But then she already made cake. What am I missing? Fruits, nuts, eggs. Spoons, plates, forks. That's flour. What's... Oh, eggs.
I'm pretty sure they stole some eggs.
Yep. Alright.
That's it.
Oh!
I always wondered where that drawing went. She said it was her favorite, and then one day it just disappeared.
The prettiest princess? Wait, why do I need Book of Goblins here? I mean, I can't interact with any. So what now? We've done this. Yeah. Yeah, it's up, Kui. No, we're just... figuring out our mom's secret. Are we done?
You really want to go? You sure we've seen everything?
I think so. I don't have the other figurines to put here.
Either way, I'm ready for this to be over.
Yeah, we're
Me
doing
too.
goblin stuff. No, we're not ready yet. We need to read the final story still. You know what? Let's do that. Let's read the final story. The Mad Hunter gets his hand back. Once upon a time, in a deep and cold lake near the ancient forest, there lived an old seal who was a powerful witch. After angering the Ice King, she had been bound to the lake, allowed only to venture out when the moon was full and only looking like the hag she truly was. For years she dreamed of vengeance, all alone within the deep lake among the corpses of her many previous victims. One night she awoke to see a black and hooded silhouette clawing to reach a beautiful gown full of stone. The human had delved far deeper into the lake than any land dweller should have been able to go. His tenacity and ferociousness impressed the moon hag, and she decided he would be wasted in her statuary of corpses. She used her magic to enspell him, allowing him to breathe underwater, but also binding him to her service. You, she said, will be the instrument of my release and my revenge. For you and I together will kill the Ice King. The moon hag had never heard of the Mad Hunter, and she did not know the power he wielded. She could only tell he was a hunter, and her lust for revenge blinded her to the threat of the post. To the threat he posed. Jesus. She gifted him a hand of ice, which was not as nimble as a hand of flesh, but allowed him to serve her better than no hand at all. The Moon Hag spent years devising the perfect plan to kill the Ice King and years more moving all the pieces into place to execute it. In the meantime, the Mad Hunter served her guarding her chest of treasures and plotting his own plots. Finally, everything was prepared. Full moon rose and the Moon Hag stepped on land, giddy at the thought she would never have to leave again if it did not please her. She brought the Mad Hunter to his post, a jagged peak of ice and stone from which he would loose an arrow, the arrow that would slay the Ice King. Before she could go, he put forward a proposal. Moon Hag, said the Mad Hunter, if you grow back my missing hand, I would be certain to hit the Ice King with my arrow. We will have only one shot, and I would hate to miss. You're a powerful witch, so you'll be able to craft ties to bind me in this place, to this place that I cannot break. The Moon Hag considered it. All right, I will grow back your hand, and then bind you here with ties that will not break. She cast a spell, and the Mad Hunter's hand of ice was replaced with a hand of flesh. As the witch left to complete the next part of her plan, the Mad Hunter grinned wickedly in the moonlight. After a short time, the Moon Hag returned, luring the Ice King into the Mad Hunter's line of sight. What is this about, Moon Hag? Asked the Ice King. Many a long year have you bound me to the lake, said the Moon Hag. Many a long year have I been alone in the dark. That ends tonight. She cast a powerful spell that made the Ice King slow to react, and then gave the signal. Mad Hunter, she cried, let your arrow fly. Nothing happened. She twitched nervously. Mad Hunter, she growled, let your arrow fly. Still, nothing happened. The Ice King, meanwhile, was striding towards her, slow but furious. The Moon Hag fled, running first to the jagged peak of ice and stone where her servant should have waited, but the peak was empty. The ties had been broken, and the Mad Hunter was gone. For in the end, he was the more powerful of the two, especially once he had two hands. When the Ice King finally caught the hag, his furious voice could be heard throughout the forest. For your wickedness, you will be eternally bound to the lake. You will no longer be allowed to leave, not even under a full moon. The Moon Hag was imprisoned in the lake, and she never again tried to escape. And this is how the Mad Hunter escaped the Moon Hag, and how he got his left hand back. I should put these VODs on when it's time to sleep. We did it! We read all of them. No more paranoia.
What are we waiting for? I want to know who was here that night. Let's try and remember who Marianne was arguing with.
Alright, sis, but this time you wanted it. Oh god, let me...
Almost. Tom? Tom Vecchi is our father?
Of course. It had to be him.
Tessa knew, didn't she?
Yeah, she must have. It's what she didn't want to tell us.
God, Marianne and Tom?
I know.
It's always Tom.
Ugh. What should we do now?
Yeah, call him out here and make him tell us what was going on.
And if he won't?
We know his secret. He will. Tom? It's Allison. We need to talk. We know it was you.
Damn it, Tom. Wait, does that make him the Mad Hunter as well? Wait, he was threatening to have us taken away. And then his wife reported Marianne.
Let me take the lead on this. I know him better. I thought I did, anyway.
Sure. Whatever. As long as we get answers.
Yeah, it also... I mean, to be fair, they are his children, so if they say it, you know, it's different.
Kids, listen.
You're our father.
Well...
Yes.
You knew how bad it got out here. How little we had. Why didn't you help Marianne?
You mean all the money she wanted? We didn't have anything to spare. Well, that winter was rough on everyone. You would have starved out here if not for all the free food we gave you.
Don't act like you had anything to do with that. That was all Tessa.
That's a cruel presumption, young man. Maybe it was Tessa's idea initially, but I supported it. And your mother was happy to live off our handouts.
You tried to burn down our barn and knocked Tyler unconscious.
I never meant to hurt anybody. You weren't supposed to be home.
Doesn't excuse the fact that you didn't even stop to help.
What do you want me to say? I panicked. I was terrified that this whole thing was gonna blow up in my face. I had to do something.
So what do we do now?
We tell him he's gotta fix the mess he made. One way or another.
Did he though?
You were here that night.
Let her
You
drown.
saw Marianne and Tyler. Why didn't you help?
I know it wasn't my best.
Oh,
move,
right.
But she threatened my life.
So you just decided to let her drown?
I didn't decide anything. Everything happened so fast, I panicked. And by the time I got to town, Brown was already on his way out. There was nothing else I could do.
You failed us, Tom. You need to make it right.
I'll do whatever you want. As long as none of this gets out.
Excuse me?
You want me to pay for my mistakes? Fine. But please, Tessa can't know. This'd kill her.
Tessa already knows, Tom.
No. That's impossible.
It never occurred to you the reason Tessa cut Marianne off was you?
But she never said anything. Oh, Lord.
You should try talking to your wife. Maybe if you had, we wouldn't be in this situation. And maybe Marianne wouldn't be dead.
Oh, come on. You of all people should appreciate how troubled Marianne was. She was unhinged. Something like this would have happened sooner or later.
And you just couldn't risk being there when it happened. Even though it meant leaving her to raise kids out here all by herself. None of this would have happened if you'd manned the fuck up!
I didn't have a choice. I know it shouldn't have happened. But, well, your mother was a very pretty woman.
Dude.
And she'd been so many places and done so many things. The way I always thought I would have. I got caught up. Love made me a fool. Look, I made mistakes. But this will not go any further than the three of us.
Why?
We already said
We
she
know.
knew.
Tessa knows. Marianne's dead. There's no point in hiding it anymore.
He's afraid it'll tank his campaign. Am I wrong?
Jesus, Tom.
I've kept your secret all these years. I don't want to go spilling it, but I will if I have to.
What?
Yeah,
Our secret?
your little story about self-defense.
Oh.
I've never told anyone how Marianne really died. That night, I came out here because I was worried about your mother.
Why do they do it? They made me do it. They made me do it. Why did they do it? This is his fault. This is his fault.
So who was she gonna shoot?
Manhunter. I'm not gonna hurt you.
What was she gonna do with the shotgun?
No! No way! You're a fucking liar!
I saw what I saw.
Ugh! You're manipulating us just like you manipulated her!
Tyler!
You're not listening to this, are you?
Be smart about this, Allison. Are you sure you want this to get out? You've got way more here to lose than he does. His name will be all but clear, but you'll be a killer. What will your uncle say? And Michael? Well, the whole town might turn on you.
Bruh.
Don't touch her.
You know I'm right.
Just get out of here, Tom. Tyler and I need to talk alone.
Just please. Think twice before making any rash decisions. There are a whole lot of lives at stake here.
Leave us the fuck alone. And never come back!
Why was she carrying a shotgun around?
Allie, you okay? You didn't let that asshole get to you, did you? Did you?
What if he's right? I've been having all these nightmares about that night, and they were a lot like how Tom said. And now, when I try to remember, that's all I can see.
He's trying to mess with your head, and you're letting it work.
No, it's more than that. Ever since we started digging, I I haven't been able to shake this feeling like something's off.
Something's off because he put this in your head. Don't let him get away with it.
He might not be lying. We keep getting things mixed up. We remember totally different versions of the past.
Those are just details. This isn't that. She was going to kill me.
I'm not so sure anymore, Tyler.
Maybe there was a bear. Oh yeah, we still haven't seen one.
She had a gun pointed at me. She chased me. She said she was going to kill me.
Oh, do we need to choose which one was true?
She threatened Tom with those exact same words, with the same gun, on the same pier. The thing you said to Eddie the other day got thrown back at me. Don't you think it's possible that happened here too?
I guess it's possible. Fuck. I don't know. And we're never gonna know the truth, are we? Because the second you walk away from something, that's it.
Yeah.
I guess at this point, you just have to decide what you believe.
Yeah, I mean, Allison really suffered from seeing.
Yeah. You need to start dealing, Allie. And that means coming to terms with whatever version of the past feels the most true to you. No more running. Whatever you choose, you gotta live with it, okay?
Okay, what do we choose?
Not gonna hurt you.
Wait,
I'm going to kill you! I'm not gonna hurt you.
with all that we
Going to
know,
kill you!
and with what Tyler just said, with like, it's true, like she said the same thing to Tom, so this might be memories interfering. I feel like Tom's version might be the right one, but I kinda hate it because he's still an idiot. That's kind of puts the blame on Allison. It makes Marianne look better. But also, like, Allison still had every reason to believe that she was threatening Tyler because she was carrying a fucking gun. And yeah, she was a kid.
I'm not gonna hurt you.
Yeah.
I'm going
Oh
to
god. I mean, I think
hurt you.
this is probably the truth.
I'm not gonna
But this
kill
would
you.
this would help Allison. Like, does this
Hurt you.
like, we're choosing between making it easier for Allison to deal with the past or what's probably the truth. Yeah. Stick with what you think is true.
Hurt you. I'm not gonna hurt you. I'm not gonna hurt you. Oh, please. No, don't do this. Allison. This isn't what. She was going to kill herself.
That's what the gun. I mean, that's
Just
kind of
herself.
what I thought.
You interrupted her and we got confused.
Are you sure?
Yes. That attic. Tyler, that was meant for us.
Hmm.
It was her way of explaining what she was going through. I made a horrible mistake.
Hey, it's okay. I'm here. Hey, peep what I just found downstairs. What do you
American.
think? Will it have aged well, or just gone bad?
Like, why is it in a paper bag? You're at home.
Where are you at right now?
I just keep hearing her say she wasn't going to hurt you. Over and over.
We were kids. We freaked out. You weren't equipped to deal with that shit.
See, he agrees with you. Wait.
She was just talking to you. And I killed her.
Stop.
I don't want to use our voice again. Ever.
What? Seriously?
I don't know. But I want to stop feeling like this. And I think we'll be better off without it. This morning, I kept getting these horrible visions. Of you and Marianne and Eddie.
Visions. Like our memories?
Yeah, but different. It was all my worst thoughts brought to life. You were in my bedroom saying I abandoned you. Eddie called me a snake.
I'm sorry. I should have been there for you.
It's okay, I was the one who walked out. I can't let that happen again.
I don't think it will. Something's been pushing us to find answers. And now we have them. Maybe I'm wrong. And if it stays bad, we can stop. But I really want to keep what makes us, us.
The Mad Hunter was forced to remain below the lake with the Moon Hag. But she did not kill him. Because even reduced to just one hand, he was too useful a servant.
We know all of those
Lo,
stories now.
He plotted
What do you
the day
think?
he would emerge.
Brothers and
To
sisters?
once again hunt the wise princess and earn back his left hand. Always. And that is the story of how the crafty goblins rescued the wise princess from the Mad Hunter.
Everyone should get big hugs when they're sad. So are they still selling the house? What happened to your hair?
One last look. Good to go.
Okay, so it does seem like they're still moving out. Very American.
Hey, it's me.
Hey, me.
House is empty. I'm getting ready to head out. So, last chance. Is there anything you want me to do while I'm in town?
Listen, Ty, you're dropping off the keys with Tina, right?
Yep, gonna leave them at her office on my way to the ferry.
Well, that's it then.
How are you?
Good, actually. Really good. You?
Same. You know, emptying the house really cleared my head out.
Thanks for doing that. The observatory really needed me this week, and after everything that happened, I just felt like I needed to keep some miles between me and Delos Crossing.
No worries. You still loving your therapist?
Gail, yes. I was actually just doing some letter writing she assigned me as homework. It really helped me get some perspective.
That sounds awesome. How's Juno?
Big and full of people.
Oh
And
no.
without tourists. Michael's been writing up rules for the apartment. I need your support against his whole food policy.
Just refuse to sign anything until I get there. Okay?
Okay, but you better hurry. If he gets his way, we'll only have one small shelf for junk food.
What? Heresy. I'm gonna need like twice that just for snack cakes after my surgery next month.
I know, right? This cannot stand.
Did you see the article I sent you about Tom losing the election?
Ah, yes, I saw your message right before Derby practice,
Fuck
so I
yes.
didn't have time to read it. But I did cackle at the headline.
Did you picture Tom's face whenever you went in for a block?
No, but that is a great idea.
Anyways, I'm glad Tessa finally left his ass. Karma is a bitch.
Oh. Okay.
Okay, I'm gonna hang up now.
See you tonight.
Okay, I'm gonna take one last walk through the house and then head to the ferry.
Drive safe.
Pretty sure that's the only way possible in the old Allison mobile.
Love you, Tyler.
Love you. Yeah, time to move on.
Siblings. What of you? This could be Finland if it had mountains. Just to tell me it's been a bit. Yeah, but it's like... Sit. Good boy.
Everything okay, Ty?
Actually, yeah. Everything really is.
It's nice when life feels that way. You know those like 20 minutes that you get every 2 years? Isn't that a dog?
Goblins out.
It does look empty.
Seeing it empty is
You
so
get it even
weird,
less?
but at least it's the last time we'll ever have to.
Dallas Crossing Most Wanted escapes. Fuzzy Bandit puts mail at peril once again. Yeah, that's a great headline. Sir? Oh, Michael, must be a relief to finally be done with that place. No doubt. If traffic's not too bad, I should be back at your place. At our place? Ooh, around 4 p.m. Traffic in Dallas. Only if the mailbox bandit escaped. Hey. Alright. Hey, I'm making that biscuit thing you like. Damn, on my way. I'll probably take out some fire hydrants and stop signs. Don't die. I'll keep it warm. See you in a few. That's a big smile. Cute. It do be empty. Oh, more to read. Hey goblins, word in town is you guys finally sold the house. I came by tonight to help you fix what needs to be fixed, but there was nobody home. Are you gone already? Things change so fast these days. Anyway, you know where to find me if you want me to fix things. If you're still in town, I mean. It's getting late and I'm pretty tired. Oh, and I'm sorry for acting like the stupid ass I am. Everywhere I look, I think about what used to be. I've been trying to do better, but I think it might be too late for an old bear like me. Not sure if this will reach you. It's getting late. Call me if you're still around. Be safe. Sam. P.S. I wish it was as easy to fix everything as a boat. I don't know how easy it is to fix a boat, but I still also wish everything was as easy as that, because... We're not leaving the... It would be really fucking weird to leave pictures for, like, the next person who moves in here. Like, you took everything else, but you leave the pictures. Anything in here? Can we mirror? No. Juno University, join us! Do we need that to become a ranger? Oh. Is that a good idea? Okay. Alright, we'll look at that when we get back from upstairs later. If we're actually going out. Everything good here. No more goblining.
Goodbye, room. Goodbye, room. Goodbye, man on the moon? For posterity.
What a wallpaper.
Certainly hope the new owners are Mr. or Mrs. Fix-It.
Alright. Almost ready to go. What do we have here?
Huh. Well, at least she finally dumped his ass.
Here is Tyler and Allison. I'm writing this letter from Juneau International Airport, where I will soon board a plane to Manila on a missionary assignment. I apologize for not coming in person to say goodbye, but I was called to make this decision alone and to carry it out on my own as well. I'm sure you understand that sometimes we must follow without question the prompting of the spirit. I mean, I kinda get it, not in the religious sense, but I will not be coming back to Delos Crossing for some times. Before I go, there is still something I feel I must confess to you both. Perhaps because I have never found the strength to confront my husband, I have never been able to forgive Marianne for her betrayal. I truly did love you both, like my own children. And I always tried to forgive your mother for her unapologetic lifestyle. Okay. But when I discovered that you were the fruit of her affair with my Thomas, I wanted her to suffer like I was suffering, and I brought down on your house the wrath I never dared allow to unfold in mine. I've been deeply ashamed all of these years, and I'm surprised how much better I feel with it out in the open. The greatest thing about truth is the peace it brings to your life. I hope you can find it in your hearts to forgive me. You have taught me once again how love will bring you further in life. Something that Marianne had been trying to show me all along. Take care of each other, always. In his steps. Never seen that one before. Tessa. Yeah, even when the house is empty, there's more stuff to read. Yeah, we're just gonna leave this here so the next owners already know what town drama is going on.
Sucks to suck, Thomas Anthony Fecky.
Vini Vidi Lusty. Okay, it's not even good. Oh. Look, it's important in a place like this to know what you're up against. I love spicy drama when I buy my haunted house.
Well, this is goodbye for real, I guess.
I love spicy drama as long as I'm not involved in it.
Hey, Aaron. It's Tyler Ronan. I thought I'd catch you on your break between sessions, but I guess you're going long with another rebel with too many causes. I know I haven't reached out since I left Fireweed, but I just wanted to say...
Yeah, what's up, Hickey?
You were right about grief. About it
I don't
going
really
in circles.
look at car brands.
This morning,
Maybe.
I was out on the porch, staring at the fog. And my mother... She just tumbled right out of me. but it was okay. It actually felt good to remember. Anyway,
Yeah, what's up, Panza?
give me a call back
Yeah, it
if you
sure
get a
looks like
chance.
the end.
I'll see you around. And thank you.
End of Act 1. We did it. Now in Act 2, Tyler and Allison become the craziest bank robbers. They don't even need walkie-talkies. Don't get too happy, that also means the stream is gonna end soon. Alright, let's see. 84% completed the puzzle. Oh wait, I can also check friends. Only 33% of my friends are... No, wait. 67%. Still, 33 of my friends are too dumb to solve the puzzles. Wait, that means I have at least 2 other friends who've played this, which I wasn't aware. I mean, yeah, it probably is 1 out of 3. Allison was influenced by Tom's testimony. Alright, yeah, wait, am I still... No, I'm not on Friends. So most people actually believe Tom. Even though he's an asshole. Oh, some of them... Okay, so you can... I just saw that I got like a second achievement that I didn't... Apart from finishing the game, that I didn't manage to read before it disappeared. But I think that was like... The twins keep their trust, probably. So I guess you can mess up enough for them to, at the end, be like, I don't want to talk to you anymore. Oh, most people confess the truth. Interesting. 30% confronted Sam with his addiction. Listening to his story seemed more important. Good friends! Oh, 71% kiss him. I don't know, it felt too soon. I mean, I'm rooting for them, but it felt too soon. Important. But I can't click it away. Alright. There is like music missing in the... Oh no, there is some background sound. That was Tell Me Why. I did like the game. It was chill. I wouldn't say that it was great. I guess it is probably liked by people who usually don't really find representation in games. And it does have, I mean, it's a nice like conclusion towards the end of like, you know, memories are fuzzy, so really you can only trust of what happens in the moment in some ways. Or whatever you think actually happened is what you have to make your peace with. It is a nice little story, yeah. Sometimes the mood switches were a bit weird in the conversations. No, like I didn't need anything crazy. I just wanted something to chill. Because the weather is too hot. I am so sorry. Why are you here watching that? But yeah, glad I finished this. It's probably still free on Steam. Because it usually is in June, so I don't know if you want to play it for yourself and see how you can fuck up the bond between the twins badly enough to make them not talk to each other in the end anymore. Go ahead. But for me, that's it.